And again, the Fight Insider. I'm here with Michael Cyr, 3-0. He's going to be fighting at LFA 121, January 14th, the Factory, Deep Ellum. It's going to be on UFC Fight Pass if you can't make it out. Michael, I appreciate it. Did a little bit of research on you. You got 3 fights, but let's start from the beginnings. You know, what got you into fighting and leads you to LFA?
Yeah. I've always liked fighting, but I never thought to do it. I was doing some other things at the time, and then one day I bought Fight Pass and started watching it, and just sat there and watched everything, all the Ultimate Fighters, a bunch of archive fights. I mean, this was only back in like 2017 or so when I really started. And started with jiu-jitsu, so it's kind of cool to be on Fight Pass. What really got me into it, just it was archived, and it just spent so much time watching it.
So as far as your growth in your gym, let's talk a little bit about what got you here. You know, your coaches, and then where you train.
Yeah, Warrior Camp. Pablo Alfonso was my head coach. Jesse Hardenberg's my jiu-jitsu coach, and that's where I started, and that's where I've been ever since. I've basically cross-trained, like when I go out of town and stuff. I haven't even hardly been to other gyms in town, which I'll probably start doing for fun, but every once in a while. But Warrior Camp has it all.
I've seen some videos on the high rollers, as far as, I always got to talk about that, as far as, how do you see like the difference, like when you show up, you're backstage at like high rollers and jiu-jitsu, and then, you're backstage at at an MMA event. So talk to me a little bit, is there a difference, or do you kind of treat them the same?
It's a big difference. High rollers, they do their own thing, and it's fun. That's mostly for fun, but I still have that competitive streak in me. And I know a lot of those guys that don't do it, they don't do MMA. And so I kind of have an advantage there with that, but I don't really get nervous for things, so I keep it cool. And that's kind of the way that I treat fighting as well. I just keep my heart rate low and relax.
Yeah, so then now you're 3-0, so that, you got a really great start. I know, like, people are perfectionists, so like at 3-0, how would you describe the, your career thus far?
I just wish I had more fights already, because so many have pulled out and things happen. And obviously COVID was right when I was going pro at the time. So that was kind of my main concern. I've done okay in my fights, and they're all finishes, but just small tweaks here and there, and really working on the little things.
And then, so you got we got Alden, who's also undefeated. Alden Coria, he's at 5-0. He's looked pretty impressive, kind of like the young guy coming up. What have you seen on video, and what are your coaches and yourself expecting?
He's got good jiu-jitsu, so there's a base there, but he's also seems to be just slightly more of a striker, but really all around good game. So I like that, because that's kind of the way I am. And then whenever things go to the ground, I don't really push the subject. Usually I like to stand and strike, feel somebody out a little bit first, but either wherever it goes, I feel confident that I'll be the better striker, the better on the ground.
So as far as this is going to be your LFA, your LFA debut, how are you feeling? Like you say, you don't really get nervous, but as far as LFA, it's going to be at the Factory in Deep Ellum. What are you expecting as far as fans, lights, different? I wouldn't say different cage; it's the same cage, but UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, Fight Pass is awesome, but as far as the fans are concerned, maybe it'll do something to me, but hasn't so far. I fought in real small places, and then a few bigger ones as well. So not this big though, but that's the next step.
That's the first time for everything.
Yeah, first
time
for everything.
And I'd like to give the fighters the floor. Is there anybody you would like to thank? Coach's family.
Yeah, Coach Pablo Alfonso, and then Coach Jesse Hardenberg, all my teammates back home, and then a special thank you to my wife and also my dad. He helps me along the way every once in a while.
We'd like to thank Michael Cyr for the time. Please check out my page, The Fight Insider, and give it a subscribe.